Hello and welcome to Coffee with Carrie, where I get to talk to people who make Bloomfield Township a wonderful place to live, work, and play. And I've been talking to some of our trustees, and today I have the pleasure of hosting our trustee, Chris Kolinski, who replaced treasurer Michael Shostak, who replaced prior treasurer Brian Keeps. So welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me on the show. This is great.
Good to see you.
Yes, thank you.
I know you've been wanting to do this for a while.
I have, just with timing and everything with the election, this is a perfect time to do this. I'm really excited.
Well, good. And you've been our trustee since September 2023.
Yes.
And then you ran for re-election.
Yes, and I was successful. The people of Bloomfield Township seem to like what I'm doing, so I'm excited about that, and I'm appreciative to give this opportunity again. So it's great.
All right. Well, good. So you've lived in the township for how long?
Since 2023, me and my wife moved from Beverly Hills, and when we bought our first home together, we moved here.
So you moved here, and then you became a trustee the same year.
No, I said 2023.
You did. So that's why I want to make sure we get it right.
2013.
2013. So you lived here for 10 years.
Correct.
And you moved here because of the tremendous services that we have.
Yes.
That are I know we've talked about this in the past, that we're superior to, well, I live in Franklin. And so you looked at Franklin, but you're like, they don't have the public safety. And so tell me why that's important to you.
So I'm a career firefighter, and so is my father. And I believe in the services that we have here. I believe the fact that we have 3 ALS transporting ambulances is a big deal. And when I wanted to raise a family, I wanted to have that safety net and that security.
Let's say that again. 3
ALS.
ALS. And what does that mean so that people know?
Advanced Life Support Paramedics. So we have 1 to 2 paramedics on every one of our ambulances, and on a moment's notice, they can be at our home.
And we just got a new fire truck, didn't we?
We did.
Tell me, you know something about this fire truck.
It's a heavy rescue to replace our old rescue, heavy rescue for car accidents, confined space, some of these other very interesting calls that we go on in the fire service. And then we currently have, I believe, a ladder truck that is in a process that we should be getting hopefully here soon. So a lot of good things, but when me and my wife were looking at what we wanted for our family and the protection, the insurance policy that we have here in the township, it was a no-brainer to move here.
So when you are a fireman, do you wear like this outfit here, or do you wear something like a fireman?
I do not wear a suit when I go to work. I look.
But you have a background in like finance, which is so you're kind of like 2 people in one.
That is one way to describe it. It's the same person, just I guess multiple personalities. No,
so you have not two different jobs, but you have a background in finance.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I went to Oakland University and got a degree in finance and a minor in applied technology and business. So computer programming specifically for the business sector. And right out of college, I went to work at Ernst & Young, where I specialized in data analytics and process improvement. So I had a tremendous opportunity there. It was a great job, but wanted to follow in the family footsteps and became a firefighter. So that's kind of my finance background. So it was good, and a lot of learning. I got to do some pretty great projects, but really like the fire aspect as well.
All right. So so why become a trustee? What interested you? It's not like a job that pays very well, but it's interesting, right?
It is.
It's a job where you give back.
I get to give back. So again, public service is a big deal in my family. Dad was former military. My brother's a retired lieutenant colonel. We had this belief that we're supposed to give back to the community and help out those less fortunate and just be involved. So after I started seeing some of the failed sad millage in the township, or the chance that they're going to change the public safety and possibly lay off or through attrition get rid of some of the staffing, I wanted to get involved, see if I could help out with my background. So I started getting on some committees, and I was fortunate enough to be on our board of review, and then I got on our financial sustainability committee and was able to have a good impact to make sure that those services weren't cut. So that's the reason. And just continued on and just kept raising my hand to what else I can do.
So let's talk a little bit more about fire service, because I know I've talked to Chief Leroy about how hard it is to keep people because there's such competition with other communities right now, and the fire contract is up for renewal this year.
Yeah.
So how do we remain competitive, and what does the future look like for Bloomfield Township with this contract negotiation coming up?
Well, one of the things that the Township has done very successfully and well is their fire tech program. They've been able to continue to find young individuals or people that want to change careers and help them through their training process. and then create an onboarding process to get them in the fire department. So you build loyalty when you do that, where a lot of organizations want you to have all of your training and certifications before you apply. So the fact that Bloomfield Township has done that, they've been extremely successful, where other organizations have not. There's just less people wanting to get into public service. So there's a talent war for really any public service person, whether it is police and fire or even assessors, planning. It's very tough out there. So we just need to be on the forefront of it. As a board, we're trying to take steps to make sure pay and benefits are top-notch and competitive with the market. We're trying to make sure that we have a great work-life balance with our 4-day work week, and then ensuring that we have the right department heads and the right people here to not only learn and grow, but to attract the best staff, which we do. So we just need to get that out there and make sure people can see all that we have to offer here in Bloomfield.
And maintain, keep that staff, right?
Absolutely. That's a tough thing nowadays.
It is. But I think, we were off to a good start this year with the increase that happened. And so now, we're going to see additional changes in pay and benefits with the contracts opening up.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. Again, we fell behind due to the inflation that happened for several years, and I was fortunate enough to be on that compensation and benefits study. So now I was able to talk to the board about the things that the consultant saw, what I saw when I was part of that committee, and how we were able to bring it to the different unions to help bridge that gap a little bit.
Anything else you want to mention before I move on about that in particular?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Call me ma'am. Wow. I don't know. So let's talk about some of that is certainly a big challenge for us, these upcoming contracts. But tell us about some of the other challenges that you've seen in your time as a trustee. There's so much happening.
There is. What's really good is that we're in a great place, both financially as well as the staff we have here. We have incredible tenure in terms of our staff, whether it is both in the public safety area of our township, as well as DPW, cable, assessing, treasury. We have amazing people. So that isn't one of our issues. That's actually one of our strongest assets. So we need to work on some of our infrastructure. Some of our buildings are kind of getting past their useful life, and we need to find ways to not only capture money to pay for these, where we're going to put these buildings, whether it's the police department, which we just talked about at our last board meeting, Township Hall, and then Fire Station 3. So again, these are some expensive projects, and
big millions and millions worth bond worthy projects, right?
The Fire Station 3 is about $10 million according to the expert. And then they want 60,000 plus square feet for the police department. So
I want a new building too, So there's a whole discussion that needs to happen.
We'll put that on the list, and that's great. So those are some challenges. Those are also some amazing opportunities for us to work with our Congress, our representatives, to see if they can help earmark some money for those infrastructure, and then see what the residents want us to put their money. It's their money, so we can get some input from them and buy-in to see what they want us to do.
Can you talk about a AAA bond rating? Do you know what that means?
I do.
I figured you would, and I ask other people about it, but I think that it bears repeating because those of us that didn't get a finance degree or go to business school, we just need a little bit more explanation sometimes. But I guess the way that I've heard it is that it means that we can get loans at a lower rate.
Yeah,
that's
so
what it leads to.
It's like having top tier credit, personally. So because the township is in a good financial position, we've paid our creditors and our bills. We have good reserves according to our expenses and income, our revenue, excuse me. That the S&P or Moody's and all these third party companies that review us say that we are the best in terms of bond rating. We have the lowest risk of not paying our bills, and as such, we get lower borrowing interest rates given to us.
And this is not common, right? Throughout the state of Michigan, we are not. Not everybody has a AAA.
Correct, and
rating.
It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes us paying, being very good fiduciaries with the money that is given to us from the residents, and continuing to ensure that we do that not just for 1 year, but for multiple years. And I'm proud to say that the whole time I've been here, as well as with Treasurer Shosak, Treasurer Keeps, we've continued to maintain that bond rating with some significant challenges in the market. So it's a great thing to have, and we can eventually leverage that when we do these big investments in the township.
And the audit means the audit is good as well, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's just knowing some of the things, the way I have to put on my receipts, and when they get rejected, I have to write different things, and then it goes back and forth. Yeah. So our audits are done in a particular way to make sure that we get that AAA bond rating.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we have UHY, who's an industry expert when it comes to this, and they continue to review our stuff, and they say that there are no issues. We are doing above board and best practices, and continue to reinforce that we're doing the right thing, which is great.
So what do we have to look forward to in the future of the township?
We have looked forward to a lot of great things. We're going to continue to work on those investments in infrastructure. We're going to continue to work on parks, which is what people want us to do. According to that strategic plan, they want green space. So we are actively looking at finding ways to not only partner with the county, but find ways within our own budget to find green spaces for people. And we're going to continue to attract and retain the best employees that can provide the best service for our residents. So we have a lot of great things going on, but there are some challenges. And I'm excited to be here for the next 4 years to work through them.
How do you feel about those trustee meetings? Because they happen sometimes they go on for many hours, right? So how do we have them be shorter?
How do we have them be shorter?
Well, there's a consent agreement. Isn't that something that's been happening
recently? Yeah, we just put the consent agreement.
Yeah.
A lot of communities do this consent agreement where, again, some of these, I would call them like routine or trivial business that the township does. We still get all the board packets. We still can follow up with township department heads if we have any questions or have any concerns, which there's never usually concerns. It's more about understanding and getting more of a brief on them. And it just expedites those meetings so then we can get to some more of the pressing issues, similar to how we had the Turtle Lake lot splits that were residents wanted to talk about, wanted to get some information on, or we talked about the compensation study. So it gives us more time to spend on those activities versus going over payroll and vouchers, which are routine, and we spend our own personal time, not meeting time, to look through and verify. So it's great. We're going to continue to do things to expedite and lower that overall time for the meeting, but making sure that we take the time appropriate for what residents want us to work on.
Great. Anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself or what's going on here in the township?
No, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to hopefully do more coffees with Carrie as we continue to do more work in the township. And if any of the residents out there want to talk to me or reach out to me about things that are concerns for them, please feel free to email me or call me. My stuff is all listed online. Perfect, right there. Again, the reason we are here is to represent the residents of Bloomfield, and that's why I'm here. So please reach out if there's anything I can do. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks, Chris. Thanks for joining me today, and we will see you next time on Coffee with Carrie.
Bye. Thank you.